Hey, y'all. Hey, we are back.
Happy Sunday, everyone.
Yeah. And then I know y'all looking like, who is that? Yes, we have another face here today. This is, introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Charles Holiday, better known as C. Dot or CJ to a lot of my friends and family.
That's
Um,
my husband, y'all. You know I'll be talking about him. That's him. You try to be formal and all nice. That's
Hey,
him.
brother-in-law, welcome to the show. We happy to
what's
have
up, sis?
You
What's
got
up?
your
How you
hands
doing,
full,
man?
brother. You got your hands full.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
She's
You
a
know?
pistol. I love it. I love it.
Hey,
She gives you that knowledge. I love it.
yes, yes, yes,
I'm gonna be
yes.
good
Positive.
today. I say that every show, but I'm gonna be good today.
That's okay.
I am. But from what I understand, Mr. Anthony has a follow-up for us before we get into the
Yes.
show.
Yeah. So we did the Dr. King show like 2 weeks ago, and I just really enjoyed it and loved it. But I brought up a fact about Dr. King I couldn't remember at the time. So it was the miles he traveled in the course of that 13 years as an activist, what, from 55 to 68, right, cuz? Yeah. So he traveled 6 million miles.
Yes, correct. From 1955 to April 4th, 1968. Correct.
Jesus.
6 million miles. Can y'all imagine?
Man,
6
if
million.
they had Delta frequent flyer miles back then, you know how many
He was
vacations
going
he
to
could feel?
forever and ever and ever and ever. He could have used that up to heaven.
Look, 6 million miles, man. Yeah,
Yep.
they just tell him, come on, whenever you ready, just get on the plane. You ain't got to do nothing else. Get on the plane, go pick a room.
That was a lot of driving. That was a lot of I know he went overseas because he had to get this Nobel Peace Prize, but that was a lot of driving in 13 years.
Yes.
Well, he went to China. He went to India. I think if I'm not mistaken, he went to England and he went to Switzerland. He went to Africa, if I'm not mistaken.
The Caribbean. So he was everywhere. But yeah,
put the miles in.
Well, thank you. Well, this week's episode, we are talking about Pan-Africanism, the ideology, what it is, how can it impact you. That's why I say I'm going to be on my best behavior because we're going to stick to a topic. And that way I can't go that far off tangent because we actually have a strict this week. So I am going to watch my mouth and we're going to talk about the ideology of Pan-Africanism and how it can help us get our shit together in every way, shape, or form. I know a lot of people, when you hear Pan-Africanism, first thing they say is, oh, we got to go back to Africa and we got to go over there. And then you think about, Black people saying that Africans don't like us and vice versa. But over the years, living with this Black Panther man here, I have learned a lot about the ideology and how for a long time I've had these ideas but didn't have a word to put to them. I didn't know what it was. I just knew I'm great. So having the words and somebody else who's really digging into it, it leads me to be lazy, unfortunately, and I don't have to dig into it. I'm gonna let him do the digging, and then I just do the practicing, and I have my own things to dig into. But to bring it full force and bring it in front is kind of great. So I want to say, just because I know the answer to this, we talked about it, and I want to be extra. I want to ask the first question of who and what brought you to the ideology of Pan-Africanism and what it is.
Initially, I think what brought me into Pan-Africanism, I always give credit to Anthony Browder. He was one of the first people that kind of brought me in the whole, I guess, era of consciousness and kind of wanting to know more about who I am, who we came from as Black people. So digging into Anthony Browder, learning more about, started out with Egyptian history, learning more about North and East Africa, and then getting into brothers. Gosh, there's so many of them.
That ain't what we talked about yesterday,
though. What we talked about yesterday?
When we talked yesterday, we were chatting randomly, and you asked me, how did we meet Stacy?
Mm-hmm.
And when you asked me how that, I told you the story, and you said after that.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to go to origin?
Yes.
Okay. All right. The origin is it actually did start with Sister Stacy, us meeting Stacy and Stacy getting us more involved with feeding the people and going out and taking care of the people, and that gave me a passion. I would say it gave me a passion to actually want to do what I could in order to help progress us as a people. So she started it, and then that began my research era. And upon researching, I ran across one of the first people I ran across was one of the first things I ran across was a video from a Rock Newman show. And it was Rock Newman sitting with Brother Anthony Browder and him talking about the Bible and everything like that, and the familiarity of the two. And I think that, like I said, that dug me deeper. I started following Dr. Ben, Brother John Henrik Clark. Like the list just went on and on and on and on, and it just dug a deeper thing. And then I came across a lot of stuff from Brother W.E.B. Du Bois. And when I started researching a lot of the things that he was talking about, I saw a lot of relative things in it, which then pushed me forward to the Pan-Africanism ideology. And I wanted to look it up and see what it meant. I was like, let me see what this means. So, of course, nowadays, the first thing we do is we type it in on Google to see what it is, see what it talks about. So that's what I did. And I came up and said, Pan-Africanism is a global movement and ideology aimed at unifying, empowering, and uplifting people of African descent worldwide. And I think that caught my attention. And ever since, I've been digging deeper into it and trying to learn about the history, learning about different Pan-Africanists, like Marcus Garvey, Kwame Nkrumah, Kwame Ture, formerly known as Brother Carmichael, or Stokely Carmichael, I'm sorry. And like I said, it led me down a rabbit hole that I've been just pretty much having fun in ever since. I never wanted to leave the rabbit hole after I fell down into it. And it led me into more current Pan-Africanists like Julius Malema or let's see, Brother Traore over in Burkina Faso, PLO Lumumba, who was another very influential elder. I look at him as one of the elders that we all should be looking at as Black people and actually soaking up game from. But yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, I got caught in the rabbit hole. I started learning about Haile Selassie and it's agreements and disagreements with everybody, but for the most part, that's where it came from.
Mm-hmm. Okay, CJ, I have questions. Pan-Africanism, is that anti-white or anti-Caucasian or anti?
Pan-African. See, the thing about Pan-Africanism is it's not anti anything or anybody. It's only anti non-unity, because the biggest part of Pan-Africanism is the unification of Black people throughout the diaspora, and us being able to learn and appreciate and also join in at times on some of the other cultures that encompass us. We got a lot of different cultures within our so many different Black African tribes and nations that I think that once we learn to appreciate each other's differences in cultures, that bring us closer together and actually be able to make it easier for us to formulate that unity. But no, we not Pan-Africanism. I won't say we not because it's not an organization or anything. It's really just a frame of mind or ideology, and the ideology is set around the progression of Black people. It's not anti anybody. I mean, only time I would see, I would think that a Pan-Africanist would be anti anybody else is if they came in the way of that unification of Black people. Other than that, there's nothing about Pan-Africanism that speaks on, being anti anybody. Just pro-Black. That's all.
Just pro-Black.
I have a question. So, and a lot of those guys I'm familiar with as well. So the Pan-Africanism, from my understanding with you, is more of a unity amongst people of color around the world. Is that correct? Sort of, kind of?
Correct. Descendants of Africans around the world. Because I wouldn't say necessarily it's a focus on descendants of Africans. It's a very, very strong focus on descendants of Africans, like our Brazilian brothers and sisters that we have over there, Haitians, just all over the world, wherever you are in the diaspora. If you're in China and you Black, and you celebrate a different part of a culture, we need to learn that culture. We need to learn to appreciate that culture and also find ways to unify and work with that culture. So that's the main goal of it. I don't necessarily, I try not to go into the whole, digging too deep into the racial aspects of it, but we got to start somewhere. And I think the start is with Black Africans all over the world.
Right. So it's not just exclusively a back to African movement, correct?
No. Definitely not. Even though that's an option. Like I said, big goal is the progression of Black people. So I feel like personally, one way that you help progress Black people is to be around Black people, is to be able to create and spread that creation amongst Black people to where it benefits Black people. A lot of times here in America, we have so many creations, we have so many inventions that we don't get credit for. We don't get, I won't even say credit because, they put your name on it. But at the end of the day, do you own it? You know what I mean? At the end of when we look at the stoplight and we say a Black man created that. But what Black man is the owner of a stoplight business today? You know what I'm saying? If you point out all the different things that black people created, oh yeah, we was able to help create the cell phone. We helped create all of these great inventions, but the majority of the time we're not the beneficiaries of it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it would benefit us as a people better to centralize our goals and aspirations. So for me, I think that centralization would be in Africa amongst Black Africans. And I specify Black Africans because, of course, we have Afrikaners in South Africa. We have, the Arab Union in North Africa. So it's a lot of other people mixed over in Africa. But we want to focus. Pan-Africanism is about the focus of Black Africans. Numero uno. And then everybody else can, kind of figure everybody else after.
I appreciate that. That made some good clarity for me because my impression was always this back to Africa movement. So I appreciate you for sharing that because it really enhanced my knowledge about it.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, Marcus Garvey is a huge inspiration of mine also. Even though, like I said, I disagree with some things from everybody. You know what I mean? I don't agree with 100% of everything everybody said or did. Exactly. But I do take the part that are beneficiary, and I try to utilize that thought process towards the future, and also teach the younger generation that same thought process. So that way they can take that and they can take the mistakes out of it. Or take the things that don't fit with the time and dispose of it, and then use the things that can actually push them forward. So that has to be the mindset.
So another question I had was, since adopting the ideology, what other ideologies have you dropped or let go of, or have you dropped?
dropped. I used to gangbang. As a former gangbanger, who used to look at other black people in a negative. Now I go back and I actually, remember a lot of things. Like I would seriously consider harming another black man just because they had on a different color. And that is one thing that it was difficult at first in order to kind of realize what it was and why it was happening, or why my ideology, why I was so attracted to that ideology of thinking, gangbanging in general. And it was because of the solidarity. So when I came upon that Pan-Africanism, it was different. It was like it was the complete opposite. Instead of seeing somebody who looked like you with a different color on and automatically want to attack, now my approach is I automatically want to help. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I automatically want to unify, figure out what I can do with this individual to help us push more black people forward. So, and it also helped me understand that I didn't need to bash my brothers and sisters who still, live in the gang lifestyle or whatnot, because I still do have a lot of, people that I'm affiliated with that are still in the gang lifestyle. But I think that I've been able to progress a lot of their thinking also. They might not have put down the colors or whatnot, but now they're not seeing a brother in another color and saying and automatically thinking, oh well, yeah, it's time to do something. Now it's more of a collective thought. We got brothers that come together every year and get together. They have a collection of Crips and Bloods and GDs and everything all around from everywhere. Come to the city of Atlanta, get together, be able to hang out, chill, kick it together, learn more about each other, and learn to appreciate, each other more. And kind of putting the gangbanging stuff on a lower level. And I think that's the first step in order to build into something better.
Wait a minute, you muted.
Okay. I'm sorry. CJ,
yes,
with your studying of Pan-Africanism, how does that, let me see, I want to make sure I word this. I'm trying to be professional. Okay. How does that, what is your thought process with other races, especially the Caucasian race, when Pan-Africanism comes to mind? How do they play a part in that?
I honestly never thought, I wouldn't be able to say, honestly and truthfully, because I don't think I've thought that deep into it to where I've been concerned about how to involve or not involve, people of other races right now, because we so far behind as far as a unified collective that we haven't gotten to that point yet where we can start saying, hey, all right, yeah, we need help from other people. We still need to figure out how we can be a collective. And once we can figure that out, then we can worry about how, we can incorporate other people who might be allies or we consider them allies. Outside of that, like I don't really make that my focus. I won't say I worry too much about that. But like I said, there's no anti-whiteness. There's nothing in my mindset that makes me say, oh, well, I want to harm white people because of this, or I want to harm white people because of that. I don't really think about white people. I think about black people and how we can progress. If white people want to get in the way of that, then that's on them, because you know what I mean. We gonna do what we need to do about ours. But other than that, I don't. Like I said, they're not a focus. And
Pan-Africanism with politics.
Hey, all right. All right. So now we get into the nitty-gritty. Pan-Africanism and politics. I think, honestly and truthfully, we only have. I'm gonna say I only know of one decent example, and that would be the city of Atlanta. I don't know of any other places that politically Black people stay in solidarity. You know what I mean? Like I know of a lot of different, like it's a lot of states that are majority Black and all that type of stuff. You look at Mississippi, you look at a lot of these other places, and a lot of these other places, they would rather put white people in leadership than have their brothers and sisters in leadership. And I think Atlanta is one place that doesn't operate like that. I don't think it's perfect. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's perfect by far, but I think it's the closest thing to an example that we can get politically on how we should move as Black people. We should have Black people, Black officials should be all over the cities that we occupy. We should have Black people on school boards. We should have Black people in mayoral and council positions in order to make decisions that we know will affect Black people.
But a lot of times, though, our skin folk and kinfolk, and we as Black people, we have a tendency to keep electing the same officials over and over and over again, and we're not getting anywhere. That makes sense.
Well, the thing about that is politics is a process. If you look at the history of politics, whether it be here and other countries or whatever, like it's always a process. It's always a lot of thought and sometimes it's backstabbing and deal making up under the table. Everything is a process. I think we as Black people kind of want to rush the process, and the system wasn't made for nobody to rush. They gonna take their time with their system. Their system is meant to work the way it works. And I think it was once we get that in our mind, once we understand that it's their system, they made this system up. They perfected the way they want to run their system. So the only way that we can actually make a difference in their system is to learn it, perfect it ourselves, and then try to find ways to use it against them.
Play their own games.
I have a question. Oh, were you done? I have a question. So in this movement or mindset or advocacy, do you have a concern about being a target or being watched or destroyed by the government or CIA or those alpha boys?
Nah, I don't personally, because for one, like this, I don't attack the government for what it's supposed to be. I attack issues that like say Trump. You know what I mean? Like Trump in office is has been extremely destructive for Black culture in America. It's incredibly destructive. So I do go against things that are actively like just blatantly against Black progression. And I think that Trump and people like Trump actually represent that. You know what I mean? I think they represent a negative effect to Black people in this country. And I think they tell us every day. So when we have people that tell us what they are doing, and they let us know, hey, we're here to tear down everything that you built up. I think we should take that and really take it seriously and say something and create strategies to defend ourselves for that, and also create strategies that's going to put us in front of it. So, but that's a part of the process that I'm talking about, because we can't give somebody 2 years, 4 years and say, oh, well, yeah, you ain't do enough, so now we done with you. We got to understand sometimes it's a spook that sat by the door. And we actually need to be creating the spooks that sit by the door. I don't know if y'all familiar with that movie, but it's an old Blaxploitation movie that I really, really admire. One of my friend of mine,
it was from like the 70s. Yeah, I remember
it. Yeah. My friend of mine, Chris Harris, put me on to that movie, and ever since I've been just drawn to it because it made so much sense. Not the radical part of it where they kind of it went ham wild in the end, because I don't think that's possible. But what I do think is we can be effective if we choose to be in the system. Because like I said, we can always pack up and go over here where the black folks at and figure it out amongst our own. But if we're going to choose to stay in this system, then we need to find ways in order to
work in the
benefit from it. Yeah, and work it to our benefit. If we're not going to do that, then it's time to go.
So do you have a vision of black people leaving America?
I wish. And like I said, it's so many people that are so comfortable, assimilated. A lot of us have assimilated, and we are comfortable in our assimilation. Yeah, it is what I mean. We comfortable. I mean, we have to know in our history of slavery, for that being generations, not just like it wasn't like it just happened to a couple people and didn't know it happened to generations of us. Mm-hmm. At some point, a lot of us got comfortable. A lot of our ancestors got comfortable. A lot of, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of us are comfortable now. We like the benefit of being of being able to access all of these things that we had a hand in creating. And I think that's our mind, a lot of our mindsets, and that's why you find a lot of people that want to gravitate to Americanism. They want to, just proud American. I'm a proud American. I don't want to be nothing else.
That way now? I mean, you think other countries are looking and feeling that way now? I mean, because the truth has come out about America, how they have truly been all these years. It's coming to light.
I'm being good. I'm sorry.
No, I think the way other countries view this country is warranted. It makes sense because of the way that this country displays itself.
That's right.
And I think that because of the fact that this country has garnered all of this power based on people of color, because if there wasn't all white folks that like I said, white folks aren't the only reason everybody over here in this country has benefited. Black people have a large hand in that. The Latino community has a large hand in that. The Asian community has a large hand in that. It's a lot of different communities because that's what America was supposed to be about. It's supposed to be this melting pot of people. But you got to understand that white supremacists created this system, and white supremacists want to make sure that the white European Anglo-Saxon remains at a certain level. They don't want to drop from the top, and they will do everything they can.
But they were the ones that came here were peasants
rejects
in the New England, in UK. They were peasants. You know what I mean? They were maids.
Well, they weren't peasants. They were criminals. Like she said, they were rejects. So
I'm
what
just
they
trying to be
did,
nice.
Well, you tell the truth. What they did is to work off their sentence, they were brought over to take over the new land. So they had a criminal spirit in them. So they were indentured servants, and they came. It was a 7-year, and once they do that, they quote unquote won their freedom. But what happened when they was on the ship? They was plotting and planning how to sabotage, commandeer the ship and the natives there. So it never came with good intentions, period. And a couple of things here with me for the Pan-Africanism, and I'm 100 with you. I think for us as a race, though, if we do go into the center of power and controlling our own destiny, we have to operate out of righteousness. Because if you don't operate out of right, and I'm not necessarily saying of one particular religion, but right is right, period. So if we do like these evil, diabolical beings by being unrighteous, the same fate would await us if we ever come into control. So that too, and politics is politricks. It's all a game. And it's the games that people play on how to maneuver, manipulate, oppress, and contain the wealth of the land and control. Absolutely.
But if we be honest with ourselves, we know that change might come, but I mean, I'm already 61.
It's coming.
It's coming. We just might not see it all. I think we will see the footprints of it. I think we'll see, you know, as it go on, it'll be here for the next couple generations. I mean, same way with the Freedom Riders and all of them. I don't think they felt like in their lifetime they would see the change that they were fighting for, but it doesn't stop you from fighting. It doesn't stop you from stepping up, because you know that at some point it's gonna pay off. So I would hope.
Girl at 61. I mean, yeah, it's some things that definitely. I mean, it'll hold you up. It might not. It'll put you on hold for a little. It definitely put you on hold. I mean, I will always fight. I mean, you know, my thing is, no, I'm not in the streets. I would love to be in the streets. I have been in the streets before over here in Cobb County with Gerald Griggs and all them, you know, walking and marching up and down Rosa Road. I would love to be able to do that, but my situation with my mom, you know what I'm saying, I can't right now. But I would love to. But in the meantime, behind the scene, I do support. You know, I do get the word out, you know, to stay safe, where they meeting at, you know what I mean? I do that, but
you still part of the action.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like it's not enough. I really feel like it's not enough. You know,
I mean, I think the background people are the people that are underdogs. Just like when you watch these shows, like these dumbass shows, Naked and Afraid, the star of the show is not the people that's naked and afraid. The star of the show is the people that's behind the scene, the cameraman, the people putting it together. It wouldn't be none of that if those people weren't there. So I feel like, you know, part of the fight and part of the movement is the same thing. All the people that's sitting back doing the planning, looking at the patterns, putting everything together, getting the word out. Those are the people that we don't know their names. They come up in the small credits at the very end, but those are the people that keep the things what's it called? The wheels in motion.
The wheel in motion, yeah.
So I say keep it going.
Never your work, because every little bit works and helps to make the ball rolling. Because I sent you guys we were talking about unsung heroes and sheroes. Joanne Jackson of Mobile, Alabama, and then Georgia Gilmore. So they helped Dr. King get that boycott going on there with that bus. So it was a small part, but it was definitely needed, because Georgia, she baked cakes and desserts and fish sandwich and chicken and sold it and distributed the money amongst the people. And they had lost their jobs for helping. So that money helped them stay afloat while they was continue to help Dr. King fight. And Joanne Jackson did a massive publication of putting a print out about the marches and so forth and so on. And the police got wind of it. But what they ended up doing, printing it out themselves and distributed amongst their people to show what was going down. But actually, they spread it so more Black people could join in. So you
kind of like the Underground Railroad. It's kind of like the Underground Railroad. You couldn't stop them. You couldn't. You know what I mean? You couldn't stop them. But CJ, in your studies of the Pan-Africanism, what part did they play, if you know of, or who played a part in the civil rights?
As far as in Pan-Africanism? Well, I mean, like I mentioned Stokely Carmichael, I mentioned W.B. Du Bois. It's actually a long list of Pan-Africanists who played roles. But like I said, with Pan-Africanism being an ideology, you have a lot of people who thought as Pan-Africanists,
but didn't have a word.
But they wasn't out there saying, "Hey, y'all, I'm a Pan-Africanist. Hey, I'm a Pan-Africanist. Look at what I'm doing. It's because I'm a Pan-Africanist." And I think that's the way that most people that are Pan-Africanists move. You find a few that typically get popular and things like that. Your Umar Johnsons and things like that who will get popular from speaking on things. But when it really digs down to it, like I said, a lot of people don't know who Wode Maya is. A lot of people don't know Ashley in Africa. You know, people who are young people who are, pushing for progression in the continent, and also pushing for Black people, for diaspora and Africans to come home and invest in what we know are our people. You know what I'm saying? So it's so many. I mean, it's really so many people that are out here putting in work that are just unheard of champions that really push for the progression of Black people. If you're doing it, if that's something that you do, and your mindset is on the progress, like Stacey, you've never called yourself a Pan-Africanist, but everything that you do, radical. There's everything that you do, everything that you said is always for the progression of Black people, regardless of agree with it or not agree with it. Your whole expression, everything inside of you is coming with good intent for Black people.
Everything I post,
exactly.
And me and Dr. D had the radio show, it was all about for us. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know nothing about them. So I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't have no white friends. I don't have no Asian friends. I don't have no Chinese friends. You know what I'm saying? I don't. You know what I mean? So everything I believe in, and I'm just, it's for us. You know,
get us right.
Well, they get mad at me. They come in my inbox and they do all that, and I talk about their mom and dad and everybody. But you know, I'm from the folks, man. I'm sorry. I don't want to see nobody die. I hate, you know, Renee got killed. I hate, you know, the other young man, you know, got killed. But we've been getting killed for hundreds and hundreds of years. And they're just not starting to, his mom is just not feeling the pain that Tamir Rice's mom felt. You know what I'm saying? Or these other young men, the one down in Florida, the one that, see what I'm saying? They're just not, you know what I'm saying? It's killing her. Yeah. She broke real bad. But look how long Black women have had to listen to that. You know what I'm saying? From Emmett Till being snatched out of his uncle's house and just beat down and shot to now, even now. Yeah. But the mainstream is suppressing so much of the media till we really don't know what's going on like we did this time last year. We really don't know because we can't get to it. So when they went and snatched up Don Lemon the other night at the BET Awards or whatever, then Joy Reid and Aaron Partners and those people, those are going to be the only way we get the news of what's going on the other side. Yeah, because mainstream, he bought all that ABC, NBC, CBS.
Look, she going to another show, y'all. We don't have to talk about that.
I'm surprised Grammy Awards coming on tonight. I'm just saying, you know.
I agree with you, but I think it's still important with the Pan-African is not lose sight on humanity. Yeah. Whether you are part of the Asian or have those associates or white friends or conversations with those others, we're all on just this one planet. There's no place else for us to go. So if we gonna be here, we have some kind of way got to unify or either get along, because otherwise none of us are going to make it. I know we sometimes are against YT and some of their actions, which is deplorable, but nonetheless, we are still all here on this one planet.
But how do you connect with people who don't have souls? You know what I mean?
Because go to the next one. We can't connect with them.
Humanity can't lie within them because they do not have souls.
Yeah, we gotta go to the next one. You be like, "Oh, thank you."
Now we go to the next one.
I'm just serious.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think we also we also have to make a distinction on who is that, because the people Trump is telling us in our face. JD Vance is telling us. You know what I mean? Like Stephen Miller is telling us. Steve Bannon is telling us. Like they are letting us know what their plan goes on. Elon Musk, yeah, all of them are letting us know right now in real time what their agenda is, what their focus is, and it's pretty much to stop hurting white people's feelings. We got to figure out a way for all of these other groups to stop hurting white people's feelings. We sick of it, and we're not going to take it no more. They called it black fatigue and all of it. Like they are telling us in our faces
now.
Like I literally just argued with a guy, not too long, but I argued with a guy on Facebook because a lot of people don't understand political history. they don't understand. Like they still think that the Ku Klux Klan was just Democrats. That's all. The Ku Klux Klan were Democrats, sure, but they were conservatives. The Ku Klux Klan has always been a conservative Christian group. Always.
They were
still are to this day. They still a conservative Christian group. The Democrat was just the party that they were voting for at the time. The Republican is just the party that you're voting for at the time. Your ideology is what you are. I'm a progressive independent. That's my ideology. That's the way I think when it comes to American politics. I'm thinking about progressivism, and I'm thinking about trying to progress Black people in particular. I think Black people have always been progressives in this country. We've never been conservative. No matter how much people want to say, hey, we like to go to church and legislate the third. Everybody like to go to church. And just because you voted for a certain political party don't mean you stop going to church. So just because Black people like to go to church and like to save money, that does not create your political ideology or put you in a box where you're a conservative. Abraham Lincoln was not a conservative. I keep having to tell people
racist.
He was a radical moderate as far as what I would consider him. I definitely don't consider him because he was half and half with abolition. He wasn't a full-fledged.
They hadn't invented the word racist yet. That's the only reason why it didn't come out like that. But he definitely, I mean, the last speech he gave, he did not want to free the slaves.
He had to finesse though. Think about it.
He had to free them, but they were losing the battle. He didn't want to let us lose because they never did.
Exactly. But that's my point. That's my point. Because of the fact that he was the president, same thing go with Obama. Go with all the presidents for the most part. Yeah. They all try to figure out how they can appease the majority. Okay, you got a big bulk of people who all feel a certain way about a certain topic. So therefore, they all want to try to appease that crowd. Lincoln,
the money crowd.
The reason Lincoln came in talking down on like, no, I wouldn't dare. Why would I free slaves? Oh no, I would never do that. And then and the South was like, we don't want to hear. We know you lying. We know you pump faking. So therefore, nah, bro. Nobody in the South voted for Lincoln, and he still won with just Northern votes. And that was because of the fact that it wasn't that many white people in the South at the time. The majority of the white folks was in the North. So therefore, he was able to win without the South, and that's what made them concede or
secede.
Secede. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what made them secede. Because of the fact that they figure, oh well, this abolitionist is coming in here. He gonna take our slaves off the dribble, and he tried to reassure them by saying, "No, I wouldn't dare. If I can keep the Union without freeing one slave, I'll do it. I promise you. Y'all just got to work with me." So technically, if the South wouldn't have seceded, we'd probably still be in slavery today.
Yeah.
No, I would have got away.
Look, I say still thank you, racist ass crackers, because we wouldn't be able to go nowhere but up there in the damn cold. So thank you, crackers, for seceding.
Yeah, I think we're still in slavery. It's just by another name. But also, it's reported that Lincoln. Yeah, Lincoln, and there's a book out, Slavery by Another Name, but it's a very good book and it's very thick and long. So Shakira, I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah, I ain't read it yet. It's in my I haven't listened to it yet. It is in my my queue though.
It's a long book. But Lincoln, it's reported that he also was part Black, just like we mentioned about J. Edgar Hoover as well. Mm-hmm. So it's just interesting how we see such anti-Black, but yet it's a part of who they are. My friend of mine, she's gone now. Her granddaddy used to say, and I took his words to heart, watch the ones that scream the loudest. And granddaddy used to say, you hate the things that's closest to you. So when I hear those anti-gay and anti-racist, I'm wondering, is it something that you just kind of like
running from?
I can't do.
Mm-hmm. You trying
Scream to the loudest, Jasmine Crockett. I love her, but the way you coming off at this time is, it's not. I don't see it working for the party. The way
we gonna have to talk about that. No, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
That's gonna be another.
I want to be part of that conversation too. Right?
Yeah, you gonna be out here because we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we'll do part 2 on that. We'll do part 2 on that.
Okay. Well, I have another question before we get ready to run out of time on this Pan-Africanism.
Yes.
When you look up the word Pan-Africanism, unfortunately, the first person that comes up is Dr. Umar. He was really big, and that's who led. You know, that when you see the word Pan-Africanism, you see his name. I feel like in the beginning, before the Frederick Douglass, Margaret Garvey School, whatever, all that, I feel like he did some good. I feel like he opened the eyes of people, but right now he's just a hot ass mess. And I don't want to say that he's a scam artist or none of that, because he really feels like this is what he's going to do to help progress Black people. So the question I have is, as someone who has fully adopted the ideology and continue to research, do you feel that Dr. Umar is hurting or helping this process as the information becomes more available to people?
Oh, yeah, that's rough. Well, it's two sides to it, because it's two people that I can actually talk about, and that would be Dr. Umar, and I can also bring in Tariq Nasheed.
Got to write his name down.
Yeah.
Part 2.
I personally view those brothers, even though, like I said, I respect some of the stuff that they brought out, and they've tried some of the information. I'll say I respect them bringing out information that I think a lot of Black people didn't know, and actually brought people towards Pan-Africanism. I don't like the way that he brings Black people to Pan-Africanism. I think that he turns off a lot of people because of the fact that he's so flamboyant with everything. You know? Yeah. And then the school situation, and which I personally, like, I didn't agree with it, but I support. I verbally supported it. I never financially supported it, but I verbally supported it because of the fact that, like I said, I try to support whatever Black people are doing to progress Black people. I didn't think it would work, because I don't think America would allow all Black institutions, like strictly Black institutions, to thrive. I don't think that's possible here. I think if you did it in Africa, it would make perfect sense. You know what I mean? If you did it in the Congo, perfect sense. If you do it in Ghana,
but why Africa though? Anyway. We want to say that our people are from there. I can respect that. You know what I mean? But why not here on the land where we've been all our lives and we've built and our ancestors? So
it's the system. The system doesn't allow it. Number one, the system won't allow you to discriminate. And they with Trump in office right now, JD Vance and them, they definitely are not going to let you discriminate.
But does Africa want Americans though? Does Africa want Black Americans, people that were born in America that are Black in Africa?
Of course. Why wouldn't they? That's the whole thing. Like, we lead. One thing about African Americans is that we are the driving force for everywhere else in the world. Every other Black, not even just Black people in general, like every other culture, even though they secretly hate us, they also secretly admire us, and they want to copy everything that we do. Well, going from the clothing, the slang, the hairstyles, everything that we do, other people want to copy. I heard a sister say that we make struggling look good to a lot of people. So people now you find people wanting to struggle. You know what I mean? And what she meant by it, when she said it, was that even with us in our lowest states, you still find people that want to emulate us. You know what I mean? Even though we know we are in parts of our lowest states, people still want to do everything that we do. They want to use our terminology. They want to call each other niggas now. You know what I'm saying? White people want to call each other niggas. I did the most baffling thing ever. but it's the reality. Everybody wants to be like us. So
I might be ready for that one.
Yeah, I think the reason why I look at Africa as a place is because it's over 1.2 billion Black Africans on the continent. It's only what 200. I mean, not even 2. I'm sorry. It's only 47 million of us in this country. 47 million compared to 1.2 billion. Like, it's more ways that we can go. Like, we will be able to go there, especially with them decolonizing. Because that's a huge important thing too. Because Pan-Africanism also understands that Africa is a colonized nation. Africa is a colonized continent. It's also a broken apart continent. It's also something that's overly tribalized. So Africans also understand that. It's plenty of Africans. Like I said, Julius Malema, PLO Lumumba, all of these people, Wodi Maya, all of these people push for the erasure of borders. You know what I'm saying? For Africans to be able to determine what their borders are going to be, what their countries are going to be called, what their currency is going to be. You know what I mean? Like, we should be the ones making these determinations. And on top of that, like I say, our inventions should be benefiting us first and foremost. Then they can benefit the rest of the world. Cool beans. But Africa should be our, Wakanda. We should be able to make a real Wakanda out of Africa, out of the continent, whatever part of the continent that we want to. We should be able to do that. And I think that's one of the mindsets of the return that I think a lot of Pan-Africans push. You know what I mean? It's to actually go to a continent to where it's us helping us. We bring in our inventions, we bring in our know-how, we bring in our skills, and we doing something to benefit Black people.
Right on. Right on. And just to take us out a little bit before we leave, Pam Bundy, they're getting ready to come and get y'all guns. They're taking away the Second Amendment right. Did y'all know that?
Good luck.
Good, yeah. Good luck.
Anthony, what's in Georgia?
I was gonna say, I think he's spot on, and I think this is not new because Muammar Gaddafi tried to unify Africa.
He did
with some of those same principles. For me, I think that would be one of the biggest threat to white survival, a unified Africa, and they'll do everything, even destroy this world before they let that happen, because now they're really heavy on space exploration, setting up colonies there.
Let them do it.
Bye when they leave it.
Yes.
They'll destroy this because, again, when he brought about us here in America, Black Americans, we spend over $4 trillion a year to the economy. We will bust the economy. And not only the economy, but the world, because that $4 trillion is more than the neighbor across the water from us, Canada. They hold GDP, gross domestic product. Wow. So he's definitely on it. And he made a point about how they really envy us and really admire us and hate us at the same time. There was a law, and Shakira, you have the head wrap on. It was the Tengan law in Louisiana. So white people was so enamored with Black women's hair. The white women were jealous, and they said, "Y'all got to do something." They taking our man, they look at in lust. So the governor of Louisiana in 1786 made the Tengan law where they had to cover their head. But to show you how beautiful our sisters were, they covered their head. And the wraps that you wear, they were so beautiful, so outstanding, so admirable to the white men was loving that too. So they couldn't escape us.
And made money off of with the Chinese because oh Lord Jesus. That's another show. That's a whole other show.
They did that again in the early 1900s. I was just reading or watching. I don't know, y'all know I be watching this weird documentaries. But in the 1900s, before Madam C.J. Walker and one other lady, her name was something Alice. I'm gonna put that name down there. But the hair care was so bad at that time, especially after slavery and all that. Hair care was bad because they so used to their hair being covered up. It was falling out, and they was putting pig fat and grease and all that other stuff in it. And that's how you have women like Madam C.J. Walker. But the Alice lady, the person who gave her, There we go. Annie Malone, Missouri, Minnesota.
Yeah.
The person who gave her push was a white lady who loved the fact that the scars were pretty, and what she did with the products made the hair pretty, and she thought it was just the most beautiful thing ever. And she continued to help her and teach her about chemistry and putting things together. And I'm like, y'all hated her so much, but like you said, they hate us and they love us, that this white woman just said, oh, and she took it all. The spook by the door. Thank you, Annie Malone. And then you make that mansion and a whole bunch of stuff that we'll have to talk about that. That's all another show.
Yeah, because Annie Malone, she had it going on. Do you know she paid more taxes in the state of Missouri than anybody that lived there?
$400,000 in 1902.
Yes, she owned a block. The only person that owned a block in that entire state, the whole block. Plus, she had the creme de la creme of cars. So she had it going on, but unfortunately, she had to meet a no good man, and he took her money.
The fact is,
you said that was a white woman?
No, it was a black woman.
No, Annie Malone was black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She just had, in the very beginning, she had a white woman supporting, putting that in keyword. That she helped her out. I put it that way. She didn't.
The NAACP was the same way with the Jewish women. And as a matter of fact, you know, y'all college down there, Spelman. That was a white woman that started Spelman.
Yeah. Don't nobody want to tell you that part, but we have to.
I will
be honest about it.
Yeah. All this stuff black. Yeah, black. Yeah.
And that's what I always tell people too. I mean, that's why I can't be. I it's just not a racist bone in my body. I don't hate nobody. And it's so many people. It's so many people that I actually respect and admire. You know what I mean? I admire John Brown more than a lot of, you know what I mean, black folks. Absolutely. I know. You know what I mean? So I give credit where it's due, but you know, where it's not due, I won't give it to you. You know what I'm saying? I think that we need more John Browns in this world. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think that it should be put just on white women. I think white men need to do a lot more stepping up. If they want to actually be able to see.
White women can't be worse than white men. Yeah.
Well, white women are the
devil.
Yeah, excuse me, I'm sorry. They the ones that creep. You know what I mean? They do everything on the low. And I think the men have been the ones that have been more destructive.
They're the most brutal people. They're probably the most brutal. White men are probably the most brutal people on the planet.
Yeah, unfortunately. You know, because I don't think if you have that, you can say this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said that brutality don't discriminate. If you follow history, what Africans have done to each other, the Chinese over in Africa, and God knows those awful Arabs in Africa, they have done some awful, horrendous thing. The Indian people, too, they had an India slave trade that was before the British slave trade, where it was hundreds of millions killed and was beaten in the whole 9-yard rape. So brutality doesn't discriminate.
You know, but for our defense, where we learn it from.
Yeah.
In our defense, we had to learn it from somewhere. Just saying.
Well, we was doing it before they were even on the planet. So I just think it's a human being. I told you, and this is going on a tangent, but me personally, I think the core of us as humans, we're animals. We're just a different style or a different mindset, but we're animals. If we weren't animals, why do they use animals for test labs for our medication and operations? So there's a connection there, but we close to get. I ain't gonna go on my tangent, but we close to leaving. So I'm gonna shut up.
It's okay. We have a part 2. We have to have a part 2.
We definitely have to have a part 2. And bring CJ back. CJ, thank you so much for coming on.
Please bring me back. Please bring me back. I enjoyed this conversation, man.
Yeah, we have many more to talk about too. We outside of Pan-Africanism, we need to talk about racism, mannerism, all the isms. We're gonna,
Let's do it. I'm always down.
I'm gonna get
faces at the bottom of the well. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, that's Michelle Alexander. Okay.
Derek Miller, Derek Bell, and this one. This is Without Sanctuary. It's pictures of the lynching that those folks did to us as a race. This book cost me $100.
And they are the most brutal. Even today, they're the most brutal.
Who published that book?
I don't know. I found it on eBay, believe it or not.
Really?
Because Amazon was higher. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Without Sanctuary.
All right. Okay. We're going to find those and we're going to put some links in. We'll make sure to put them all in the description, of course. And I'm telling you, we're going to have this book club coming because I got some more books too. But we gonna get there. But I thank you guys. We'll get this up. And like I said, we're going to look for a part 2. I'd love to dive a little bit more into the civic engagement aspect of Pan-Africanism, as well as just the roots of it, knowing who we are and how we can use the ideology to really teach us and show us how we can get our shit when it comes to knowing who we are and how we can exude our greatness. But that's next time. But thank you. And we are out, y'all. Yeah.